started last year when I successfully completed my Dubai Marathon. The feeling of achievement really inspired as it is not a technical mountain, but still it has its own challenges. The main challenge being the altitude. Kilimanjaro is located in Tanzania in Eastern Africa. It is not only the highest mountain in Africa, but it's one of the highest walkable mountains in the world. After doing my research about the mountain, different routes for summiting, and the operators, I decided to go for a 7-day Rongai route. After the booking, I needed to prepare myself for the expedition. 1. Buying the gear. 2. Training for the climb. I also needed to take a list of vaccinations, including yellow fever and tablets for malaria. I was picked up at Kilimanjaro airport in the morning, transferred to the hotel, where I met the other mates of the group. Our group had a total of 15 people. Now, these people were from different parts of the world, and we had different age groups, starting from 16 years old to 62 years old. After the pre-climb briefing, we got our route maps. We all were very excited. Our climb was covering cultivation lands, rainforest, moorland, alpine deserts, and the summit zone. The total altitude coverage was 5,686 meters above the sea level, which is 20,000 feet. We were all excited for the expedition of the lifetime. After the briefing, I thought of exploring the areas around the lodge. There was an amazing waterfall and some beautiful coffee plantations. Departed the lodge at 7 o'clock in the morning, heading towards Marangu Gate. Once we registered, we drew off the other side of the mountain to Rongai. At Rongai village, our guides, assistant guides, porters, cooks, everybody were allocated. For a group of 15, there was a crew of 56 people. After a short walk through the banana and coffee farms of Rongai village, we entered into a very attractive pine forest. The path underfoot was very wide and clear, but there were a lot of big tree roots. After a couple of hours walk in alpine forest, we entered into a lush green rainforest. I enjoyed the walk here. After around 5 hours of walk, we reached to our first campsite, the Moorland camp, where our camp was erected and ready, and a hot cup of tea waiting for us. Our hot supper was ready by 7 o'clock. We had a separate tent for our dining. We had our supper. We woke up very fresh. The tents were very comfortable, and started off with the climb of day 3. Our target is to cover around 1,000 meters today by evening. By the end of the day, we reached the cave camp, which is as a shelter of Kekilewa caves, and the altitude is 3,600, and the temperature dropped down till 3 degrees Celsius. Day 4, it was a very clear morning. Our camp was at 3,600, which we started, and our target to the next camp is at 4,400, and the walking time was around 6 hours. We had a steepy climb today on all grass slopes. By late afternoon today, we reached our next campsite, which is Marwenzi Tan Camp at the foot of Mount Marwenzi. This is located in a very beautiful valley underneath the mountain. We rested here for a little while, and then again we started doing our acclimatization climbs for a couple of hours. It was a beautiful morning, day 5. We woke up with our hot bed tea. It was a beautiful sunrise. We were camping above the clouds. We started moving towards Mount Kibu. Our next camp is Kibu Camp. This was the most difficult walk so far in the expedition. Today, after a very tough walk of 6 hours from Marwenzi camp, we reached Kibo camp at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, totally exhausted. After the summit briefing today, we went to our respective tents and started to wear our gear before we went to sleep. Right? What we were expecting at 11 o'clock when we wake up would be minus 10. Today's target is to do 2 summits. The first summit is Gilwan's Point, which is at 5,700 meters above the sea level, and the second summit is Uhur Peak, which is 5,896 meters above the sea level. We started for our summit night at 12 o'clock. It was pitch dark. We did our first summit, which is the Gilman's Point. The altitude there was 5,700 meters. This 6.5 hours was the toughest walk in my life. After staying there for 5 minutes at Gilman's Point, we started towards our next summit, which is the Uhur Peak, which is at 5,896 meters. This is a distance of around 1.5 hours, which we need to cover. This was the hardest walk of the whole expedition. We are already exhausted. There's no energy left. The temperatures are soaring till minus 34 now. Wind speed is maximum till 45 kilometers per hour. And it's all surrounded with glaciers, ice rocks and snow. We reached the Uhur Peak at 8:15 a.m. The group congratulated each other. We were very happy that we have conquered the mountain and we are on the peak. But nobody realized that we need to go back all the way. We are already exhausted. All our muscles are aching. There's nothing in the stomach because the appetite was totally lost. Now going down was a big challenge for us. We started our descent from Uhur Peak at around 8:30 a.m. and the impact of our downhill walk on the knees, on the calf was very high. We are feeling the pain. Walking closely to 19 hours, we reach Horombo huts where we would be camping tonight, and this would be the last night in the tent. Woke up early morning around 7:30. Was feeling good that I have finished the expedition. I finished summiting, went out, had breakfast, and then we had a big ceremony where we were thanking the whole of the crew, and we had some music, some dance, some songs, some traditional mountain songs. I think we're enjoying
kuliko mwanga wa gesi wanameremeta nakutafuta sikuoni Helena 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 nakutafuta sikuoni.
The only thing what we are looking at was a fresh and a good shower, good food and a good massage, and overall we were looking for a good bed. After a walk of 6 hours, we reach Marangu Gate at around 3:30 in the evening, where we were welcomed with some juices and where we were awarded the certificates of achieving the summit.